uses everybody uses portrait. Uh, so we are we're here at the second anniversary behind the glass event.
I've been told to come and jot.
Oh, hello. Yes, and we have to talk about stuff after too.
Yes.
I did see your thing. I apologize about not reaching out already. We're prepping for this. Yo, grab a mic and we'll start the
Where
podcast.
should I sit in front of this one or a different one?
Oh yeah, wherever you like. All right. So we're gonna start, and that's two, right? And which one's yours?
I'm right here.
Okay. Just trying to kill the background as much as I can. All right, and starting in 3, 2, 1. And we're back with our next photographer, our next artist. Guest, introduce yourself, please.
My name is Rachel Coutant. My pronouns are they, them, and she, her, and my brand is Impassioned Art.
Is so many colors, so many interesting portraits I saw all over the place on the Instagram, and always like so identifiable too.
I appreciate that.
I remember we talked about it, on the Behind the Glass podcast when we did that, and I'm interested. Like, what have you been working on since you were in the gallery originally?
Yeah, so for 2025, one of my major focuses is on building a surreal tarot deck. And so one of the pieces that I have in the show tonight actually is one of the images that I'm going to use for the deck.
Okay.
And I basically, in the last several years, have been learning more about tarot. I think it's a really good way to process emotions and process mental states in general, even if you don't want to use it as a spiritual practice. And so my work fits in really well for building a surreal kind of eerie deck.
Well, and I gotta say, like I did last year, I didn't even get to see all the stuff in here, so I took a walk around before everybody got here, and yeah, and I saw it. And like, how would you describe the picture you have in there right now? Because it's a lot in the best possible way.
Yeah, it's been very powerful to work with the topic of grief over the last year. Being somebody who's been closely following like Free Palestine, who's been closely following a lot of global issues, and then also went through like grief of a family member, of losing a family member this year, and other forms of grief. 2024 was very laden with a lot of grief, and more so than I'd probably experienced prior. And so I really I kind of have an eternal scream in me. And so I really wanted to represent that through a photograph. And this was my way to represent global grief. And the idea of it, and I can explain it for anybody, that hasn't seen it, but it's on my Instagram page. It's called Global Grief. And it's me standing on a mountaintop with this channel of like energy and light going through me. And the way I like to think about it is there's this channel of grief always on that mountain, and we can choose to step into it and feel it, and it changes us, but we don't necessarily change it because the world is kind of endlessly in this cycle of grief and rebirth and grief and rebirth. But that it's our duty sometimes to just feel it.
Well, and I think that's an interesting, I think the critical word in there, because we're all people too, and it's hard to live in it all the time, is we can't always be in it because we're going to burn ourselves to the ground.
Exactly.
And not be able to build our communities, our current communities, in where we are now.
Exactly.
And it's always tough. Which are the things you spend your mental energy on? Which are the things that you dive into? And that it's always a tough thing if you're paying attention, which is the thing that's you're going to invest your emotional energy and not just your physical energy.
Oh, yeah. And I've had to do so much and continue to do so much inner work figuring out what that looks like. Of like, okay, what things do I give my energy to? How much do I give in each season? How can I care about things deeply, but also like survive mentally as just a person trying to live in this world?
Yeah.
And I do think sometimes it's my duty to step into that channel of grief and feel it with all of humanity and carry it. And then there are times to step out of it.
Yeah. This too, because it can be light, it can be fun, and photography and visual arts can be impactful and diving into the core of a person.
Yeah.
And when I walked through the gallery, I saw all of that today. I saw from, the most intense to super light and funny.
Yeah.
And what a great thing that we got to see all the different creative thoughts together on a wall, and it's discordant and so harmonious at the same time.
Yeah, and it's so beautiful to look at all the different pieces and think about what inspired each artist individually, because there's a lot of diversity on the wall, and it's so interesting to see what different people's eyes catch or what inspires them. But yeah, I also love, and one of the reasons I like talking about grief in general, and honestly, it's funny that you're like, yeah, we're talking about grief on this live, because pretty much if you start a conversation with me, you're going to get into something deep and philosophical, and that's
I
just how
love
it
it.
goes.
I love it.
But one of the things that I really love about art is that it has been used throughout history for revolution, for feeling less alone, for knowing, like, it's just such a powerful tool that people don't sometimes underestimate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And I think the thing I can say about when I'm looking at, how many people are out right now and the vibrancy of the people that are out to here is when we're engaging in positivity and being around things and seeing people really engage with the art on the walls and pay attention. This is the stuff that makes me feel like we have a chance to do good things,
Yes.
to be better than we were before, is community.
Yeah.
And I remember I was reading something, and it's not my community, but it was, somebody talking about, hey, what we're going to have is community in the real word of it, is, the integrated community of everybody helping each other. It's the direct support that's going to be the thing that gets us through the tough times, and not community as a theoretical. It's the real community that's being built with things like this and real conversations, and not, the
Not
fluff's
just
great.
like throwing around the term community.
Yeah.
Yeah, and supporting each other. I mean, I wouldn't be where I am in life if I didn't have a lot of support, and even being given the opportunity and being thought of to even be invited to this gallery is another boost for me as a person. So seeing a gallery filled with people that are just wanting to support each other is a huge thing for community.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. That was pretty awesome. So, yeah, and we're gonna be talking more. I'm excited to see all the ideas you have inside of you, and it seems like there's tons of ideas all the time.
Oh yeah. I have a hard time narrowing it down.
Yeah. So again, where can people find your work online and follow your work so people can see what's going on?
Folks could find me at impassionedart.com. That's my main website, but you can also, if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me at impassionedart or at Rach the Crouton 7 if you want to follow my personal. I will also be teaching a workshop about self-portraiture at REEF, the Rochester Erotic Arts Festival, come
awesome.
April. So that's another place that you can find me and potentially learn from me.
Awesome. Thank you so much for swinging over, and we'll talk very soon.
Thank you.
All right. Awesome. Thank you.
I always feel so good when I jump on. I'm like,
By the way, I'm Matt. I'm Chris's partner, the silent partner, usually.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm usually the production guy.
yes,
So,
I know of you,
yeah.
but I hadn't.
Yeah.
I very rarely see the light of day. So it's nice
good
to
to
meet you.
All right. Well, for everybody who's on the live stream, just turned off audio for a minute while we were talking some
Doing
potential
business.
podcast
Business.
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 Yeah, so we're kind of on hold for the next guest on the podcast recording. So we're already 27 minutes in of recording.
Yeah.
I think last time I ended up doing like an hour and a half. I don't think we'll quite get there this time.
No, it'll probably be a solid hour, but that's
Yeah.
a good hour.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
No, and I think that's the thing is, people really enjoy just being here
Yeah. Well,
at the event.
I said it in the first kind of break that we did, but I've been kind of watching as people come in and out of the gallery, and it's really cool. And Aaron and Eric both kind of talked about it too, is that people just kind of find community and find people to hang out with and find people to talk to and kind of come together. And I think that's really interesting. Like folks just kind of find a piece, spot up in front of it, and have conversations, it's cool to watch. Like,
yeah, I'm kind of glad we have right now the camera shot going into the gallery.
That I wanted to turn it that way because for me, it's really cool people watching just to see how things kind of cycle through as people go in and check things out.
Oh, absolutely.
And spend time really kind of, I mean, it's so many groups of people in there just having conversations and enjoying each other's company. It's fantastic.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to grab somebody. Vanderlei, you want to jump on the podcast? Oh, you're going to get both of you? Yeah, swing over to the other side. We'll rotate over. Yeah, we're live streaming this whole thing.
Yeah. Live from the internet. Affect my decision-making abilities at all.
I expect nothing less of you.
$1 million. Yeah, you can do your best wedding DJ.
Testing 1 2.
Drop those down. Turn your headphones up.
You're good. We're good.
A little too loud for me.
My headphones are fine.
No, it's too loud for me. So turn it down.
Turn your headphones.
Turn your
down.
ears down.
Thank you so much.
Turn your headphones down.
All right,
we're being a wiener. This is where it's supposed to go.
We haven't met yet. I'm Nick.
Hi, Matt.
Nice to meet
All right,
Nice to
we're
meet you.
starting the podcast recording in 3, 2, 1.
Matt, nice to meet you.
All right, we're here with gentlemen doing lots of interesting stuff, collaborating, building their own different community. Gentlemen, introduce yourselves, please.
Hi, I'm Matt Vanderlei. I own a company called Hungwell Art Services. I custom frame things, I curate, I set up exhibitions about town, do a lot of nice things. And the thing I'm grateful that you guys let me talk about tonight is an exhibition called Thaw.
Yeah.
In its 3rd year, the Yards Art Collective, that I'm co-curating with Nick and Rivka Simka and Abby Luby this year at the Yards
awesome.
in March.
Oh, so coming up in March, super excited about that. Like, how did you're getting involved more this year, right, Nick?
Yeah, I'm a voluntary subsidiary of Hungwell Art Services at this point.
Subcontract.
I don't get paid for many things, but that's okay. I like to be creative and help out with some of the things that Matt might not like doing. So if you guys would like to sponsor any part of the show, go ahead.
Oh, nice. Sounds good. And that's I think part of the exciting part about doing, expanding the stuff as it goes along is you can't keep on doing the same thing and feel like you're progressing, feel like you're getting to the next step. And bringing in super talented people like Nick and Rivka. I apologize, I don't know the other person yet, but like having talked to Rivka a few times on behind the studio door, and obviously I'm behind the glass as well, like having different perspectives, having more people involved has to be like a great benefit to you as somebody helping to create something.
Well, Thaw's an interesting exhibition. It's something that we've kind of built and expanded on over the last 3 years. Part of that process has been bringing in a different team of creatives every year in order to curate the show. But it's also been this question of like, how do people look at and experience an art show? What separates Thaw from a lot of exhibitions is that it has this deeply interactive quality to it. Viewers who come to the space do things like they choose the music by selecting vinyls and engaging with a record player. There's opportunities to write. There's opportunities to throw light and collage and really like move within the space. And part of what makes that work is we have 4 awards. Those awards are valued at $100 a piece, but the way our exhibition is juried is that it's voted on by the people who come to the show, right? So we've got QR codes located around the space that folks can use to vote on the works in 4 different categories, and all of it is determined by those who show up and are the patrons to the show. So it's a really, I, as a teacher and as a curator and an artist, have been really focused on engagement and how people interact with art shows for a while now. And Thaw's kind of the best expression I have so far in terms of building that engagement and giving people the opportunity to really look and read and process and engage and feel the work, as opposed to just take a look and keep it moving.
That's awesome. And what are you excited about as part of the show, Nick?
I being more involved in like the other aspects that Matt would usually do for his shows, like learning the more curative aspects as opposed to just this is how you hang a show, this is how you contact artists. It's more of just like getting my feet wet in different things, because I mean I've been in a creative funk lately, and just now I'm putting more time towards getting more things out to the community. I'm doing a lot of stuff, you know, behind the scenes that I'm not ready to even announce ideas about yet, but the ideas are moving into play. And
yeah,
so that's kind of where I'm at in my artistry right now.
Well, it's tough. I mean, I know even in 2024, I got into a little bit of a lull doing my own stuff, focusing on the network. And sometimes it's great just to be doing the work, and then the inspiration will come back.
Yeah.
I know that's how I end up getting there eventually, is by just doing work for a while.
Yeah, it leads you to different places that you may not have anticipated. So I think, I kind of want to go back to the interactivity piece, because I feel like that'll bring a lot of people in that wouldn't ordinarily go to a show. Do you find that that's the case, where you kind of get folks that you usually wouldn't come out to an art show, but kind of word of mouth or what have you, hear that there's that piece of it and kind of join in?
Thaw does, and you know, part of it, you know, you were talking about repetition, and at this point, I was feeling that hard a few years ago. I felt like I was sort of just stuck in this Groundhog's Day of a year in terms of like art and presentation. Thaw is the only thing that I really plan on repeating and plan on continuing to repeat, and the reason for that is like there's always been this really cool magic about this exhibition. I've seen a lot of different kinds of artists come to that space in terms of like younger artists, emerging artists. I've seen folks like Rivka, actually, for the piece she has on the wall and behind the glass right now, that won an award at Thaw, and then it won an award at Rocco, and then it appeared at Behind the Glass, and then it, you know, its legend grows, you know what I mean? And that started, honestly can't remember. I think it was the first one, but it might have been the second one that Rivka submitted that piece to. And now Rivka is also a curator with the exhibition. And there's a lot of like little stories like that. I think one of my favorite was a young woman submitted work to the show. She got accepted by the curatorial team. She reached out and said, you know, I don't really know how to present this. I don't know how to frame it. And I was like, oh, okay, we can do something about it. And I got a text from a friend of mine who joined the military and moved away. And he pointed out the fact that I was building a frame for his little sister, who I had not seen since she was like 5 years old. So it's like,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's just this like, the show is full of coincidences, and it is very much, I've always seen it as like, in terms of curation, the goal of Thaw is not to parse through and edit the very best works and only the very best of the best. But the goal of the show is really to find an excuse to include as many of the artists as possible, and to really create a opportunity for folks to maybe show for the first time, and you know, kind of the same mission of Behind the Glass. So it does bring out a lot of folks who don't generally come see the arts, but I think it also brings out a lot of folks who are used to this, are used to doing this. And what I find is that they also find unexpected opportunities in it. Because it really is, as a curator, I have this philosophy of irreverence. I spent a lot of time early in my career working with Christie's Auction House and really like lifting and carrying and handling and unframing and hanging like the biggest of the biggest, you know, and in the shrine, in the temple, so to speak. And I really just, they're just pictures, you know? You know what I mean? They're just pictures. And like, yes, they have meaning, yes, they have movement, but there's this whole idea of like art is magical, but it's like, it's not the art that's magical. It's like us creating community and fellowship through conversation and presentation and sharing of ideas. Like that's
Right.
the sauce, you know?
It's more the democratization of it and not just keeping it as this like high-end commodity. It's bringing it out for the people.
Yeah,
Right.
Exactly. You
That's
know?
awesome.
And you know, you get to the last level of this game, and it's Mark Rothko, who's been dead since like the 80s. You watch a painting sell for $225 million, and it gets added to a spreadsheet, and it's like, who does art serve? Why does it serve them? These are the questions that I try and answer when I curate and put together exhibitions. It's like,
Wow.
why are we doing this?
Yeah,
You know?
and these important questions and so many more will be answered in full at Thaw in March.
Yeah.
Over at where was this? Where's that located?
Oh,
again?
can I please throw all the dates?
Please do.
I was
please
just going to
throw the
ask
dates?
if you have the opening date, and this is at the Yards, right?
Yeah, well, the opening date is going to be first Friday, March 7th, but the one I would love for people to focus on right now is the submission deadline.
Oh,
there you
great.
go.
Yeah, so the submission deadline is February 9th. If you are interested in being a part of this exhibition, please submit to us by February 9th. And you can submit either by clicking the link in my Instagram at Matt_Vanderlee, or you can go to the Yards website, and somewhere in my dumb phone, I have that website. Here we go.
That's always how it works.
www.theyardsrochester.com/thaw, THAWWW, theyardsrochester.com/thaw, and that's 3 W's, courtesy of the curator behind the glass, Richard Colon, who felt very strongly that the third show should be represented by a third W.
Love it.
that.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for swinging over, and we'll be back very soon with
Looking forward to the show.
the next
Thanks for having
guest.
us.
See ya. Nice.
Thanks, guys. That was great.
Me kicking the table 3 times show up on the
It's all good.
It's all part of the live experience. It's cool.
Yeah. No, we're figuring out all the live streaming stuff on the software. So we're live streaming on Behind the Glasses Instagram right now. Yeah, grab a button. So these are yeah, they turned out awesome. John Baloo did a great job on this. So he custom carved the rubber stamp.
I did not see my daughter from the chat room, but I know he has a full video set up. He sent the link and you work for it. But he had not heard of yours. That kind of shows you on the last
So we're
full setup, but he seems interested. He was asking me about getting back into it.
Yeah. No. Yeah, we were on with Level Up last night, recording with them with Mercury Coffee. It'll be coming out soon on Food About Town and Level Up. And yeah, right now they're using Intelligentsia, but hey, Wade Reed was there. Who's also here. I'm like, hey, if you want to think about doing local coffee, we have people around that are roasting coffee. And it's great to see, a new brand pop up that's doing really good work and creating interesting flavors and doing fun stuff. And it's the coffee like shops have just been exploding in the last few months. How many have opened? It's wild.
Somebody was asking me recently about what was interesting about upstate New York and food. And one of the things that I didn't think of at the time, I thought of Utica food actually. And I was thinking of you, but,
yeah, I heard the shout out for Utica in the podcast you did. I'm like, I love those trips. They were so much fun.
It was a lot of fun. But what I failed to remember at the time was how unique Rochester's coffee scene is.
Yeah.
Think about the number of roasters in Rochester, New York, in terms of the size of our city, and compare it to even Buffalo, which is bigger. They got nothing.
Yeah.
And Syracuse has even less. So it's pretty wild if you look at Rochester's roasting scene.
Well, and you see just like the awards that Joe Bean's winning like year over year all the time. And it's like we have so many places, and hell, more places are popping up right now too. It's like we probably 6, 7, 8 coffee roasters in town. It's actually we should count them at some point.
It's more than that.
We got to count them.
It depends what you think. It depends what you mean by town, like how you qualify.
Yeah.
Like, do we count like Relays Coffee Roasters?
Yeah, I think I would. I would count
Victor,
Monroe County surrounding plus area.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, we should actually list them all at some point.
I bet we're over a dozen.
Wow. That's wild.
You want to do it right now?
No.
Okay.
We're gonna do a whole thing, Chris. We're gonna do the whole thing. Because you know what you and I always need is another whole thing to do.
Never a half, never a quarter.
Yeah.
Always the whole.
Just another whole thing.
All right, I'm into that.
Yeah.
I was just chatting with Angela from Pandemonium this afternoon. I was over there.
Oh, she's cool people.
She is, yeah. And her coffee's incredible. She's doing a really good job.
Yeah, shout out to Pandemonium, coffee roasted by Wade Reed from Emporia Coffee.
There's another one,
Yeah, done and also like really customized to what they like. And that's part of the fun of doing that kind of stuff is hey, people get the profile that they want. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Man.
Speaking of cool stuff, it's a really nice turnout tonight.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy. We've got the camera facing in there now, and I'm really glad it's ramped up. We got a pretty good crowd right now.
You think about like just 4 years ago.
Yeah.
It's wild, isn't it? What are we in January?
Yeah.
Like January 4 years ago, like this couldn't have happened. And if it did, it would have been salacious.
Yeah,
And
completely.
It would have been masking. And now like everyone's like unmasked and hugging each other. And
Yeah.
swapping germs left and right.
That's what we do best, Chris.
Gum, probably.
Sure.
Yeah, can I grab what's in your
Yeah,
No, it's
very different time.
well, it's also great to see just, this to see the community starting to pop up. And I love that you've been doing like the events with community too out at different places.
Yeah, we just had one last night.
Yeah, how did that go?
It went really good.
If I wasn't recording a podcast live, I would have been there. But I was recording last night.
You're always recording, man.
Yeah, I try.
Yeah, you got stops.
No chill.
No, we've been doing what's called Sober and Social, which was not my idea. It was a friend of mine, Kayla, who was like, I really want to meet other people that aren't drinking. And sometimes that's people in recovery, and sometimes it's people who just are taking a break.
Yeah.
And it's tough to go out to a bar when you're sober and just mingle with people, and sometimes it can be a little self-conscious feeling. So we've been hopping around to different places that have good non-alcoholic menus and picking a day at a time and basically saying, come out and meet new people.
No, and I'm super. It makes me very happy to see that growing
Yeah, it is.
and seeing more people getting out and being comfortable, being vocal about it and being seen as that, not just sometimes practicing it, but being seen that way.
Private scarlet letter that you're wearing that, like,
Yeah.
this misfit toy cast out to the island.
Yeah, like your scarlet letter's like carved on your chest at this point. You
So our friend Adam Wilcox, who actually texted me this morning, I haven't talked to him.
Oh, nice.
He said to me like a couple years ago, he's like, yeah, sobriety is kind of like your personality, and like I think it probably is at this point because it's been so long.
Yeah.
But it's not easy to be like I'm somebody who doesn't drink anymore or use drugs anymore. But after you do it for a while, you just sort of wear it like an old pair of jeans.
Yeah. Defined by a lack of the thing.
Yeah, that's funny. Yes.
Yeah.
The defining factor is the thing that's no longer.
Chris Clemens, The Void.
But it has been cool. There have been people who keep showing up to do sober meetups. That are like, I didn't really know how to meet other places.
Yeah.
So it's been nice to see.
No, that's awesome. Well, yeah, we'll chat about it more soon, but like, yeah, just swing over one of these days. You got to check out the whole, even just to hang out for a little bit.
I've also got a lot of cool shit you gotta drink.
I mean, we can always record it, but like also just swing over and we'll hang out. So I think we're going to jump in and talk to Jerry for a couple minutes.
I just wanted to say hello to you, man.
I'm glad
I
you
didn't even
swung
need
over.
to make it in. I didn't need to horn in.
No, it's what like we just have we're doing the live stream as a test because we're live streaming the video. We have a streaming service that we can run. So we're running it on the YouTube for Lunchador. We're running it on Behind the Glasses Instagram. So we're messing around with that and seeing right now. Yeah. Yeah. No, we're running. Yeah. So we're recording the individual segments on the like actual audio recording, but we're testing out video for streaming and then for recording otherwise. So we're messing around.
Not that long ago, we were testing out recording at Joe Bean in the back room for that.
Oh God. Wow. That's wild. All right, see you, man. Jerry, how you doing, man?
Good. It's been a million, like a zillion.
Man, I've been seeing our mutual friend Chris Clemens Chris Carlson more recently, and the recent thing I did with Chris Carlson was he dropped off 4 pounds of Vietnamese peppers at my house, and I made like a gallon of hot sauce.
You made a gallon of hot sauce.
Oh yeah, I fermented all the peppers. I made like a gallon of hot sauce.
So we're recording for the Behind the Glass podcast.
Oh, I made like syrup out of that. I made like a fall syrup with 5 spice. Oh yeah, like a full paper bag of them. Yeah.
I mean, if you want to pan it over, I really don't mind.
It's like completely wild. It's one of those like when I describe him to people, I'm like, basically he's the most interesting. He's like that, the Dos Equis guy, but with like 10 times less charisma. But it's in the very Chris Carlson way, and it's not a negative because you couldn't be more Chris Carlson than he is. Yeah.
More than anything, my appearance is what other people have been like. They're like, oh, you're that guy with the red hair and that
we're gonna do a little segment.
lion's
We'll be
mane, and
back
I'm like,
to regular
okay, and it's
discussion.
just like you like to stand there for a minute and.
So, if you don't mind pulling that over to you just a little bit, so you want to be pretty close to it, so lean in a little bit. You can tip it down too. Oh, there you go. All right, which one is that? We got
So
both.
Dakota's on 4, I'm on 3.
Awesome. All right, we're starting back up in
Cool.
3, 2, 1. All right, and you're here with one of the other artists, one of the photographers from the 2024 Behind the Glass. Guest, why don't you introduce yourself real quick?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm Dakota Maxwell. I was one of the artists from July. So
Okay.
July to August.
Yeah, so I mean,
Yes,
you're back in the anniversary show. Did you bring something new for this one that you didn't have in the one in July?
Yes, I did. I brought a new picture. The piece that I brought for this show, so I actually took it like right at the end of like the session I was in last. So I feel like if I would have had it by the time last section, I would have put it in. But No, the piece I brought to this show is one that personally has been one of my favorites for a while. I've been, I guess, I've struggled to like find like a good spot to put it because I know like some of the last galleries like had like, I don't know, I was kind of focusing for a bit of like a Rochester theme, at least with the last one. But I'm like, okay, like behind the glass alumni show. I mean, like just my theme to do whatever I want. I want this picture, and you know, so
No, that's awesome.
definitely.
So for folks who maybe haven't seen your work before, how would you describe it?
I do a fair amount of like nighttime kind of photography, kind of a little bit of a blend between like nature and like street photography. So not really as many like people in the pictures. I try to mainly go for like maybe like cool looking buildings or scenes or like skies or just anything like that kind of. I don't really have a thing that I particularly like, I feel like look out for. I just kind of wander around. I'm like, oh, is that a cool scene? I'm like, oh yeah, I got to get a picture of that. So, but there isn't, most of the time there isn't anything like specific. I'm going like, oh, I got to get a picture of this. I kind of just hobble around and look for cool shots basically.
That's awesome. Anything you've been working on recently that you're trying out something new that you've been working on?
A little bit. I've been trying to change my style up a little bit.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of my pictures, I have a very like similar editing style. I kind of, it's almost like a muscle memory at this point for a lot of the stuff. I feel I'm like, I go into like Lightroom to edit my pictures. I'm like, okay, I pull the slider around here a little bit, this, standard kind of stuff. And I don't know, I feel like I've been a little bit burnt out lately about doing the same thing. I know I've been a bit inspired by some other styles. So like, my style is like pretty like sharp and like contrasty. So especially like nighttime or stuff like that, there's a lot of like sharpness into it. And I've been, I guess, feeling inspired by a lot of other pictures. I have a bit of like a hazy, like a graininess to it. Like I guess kind of look like film in a sense. So kind of like the lights have a bit of like bloom to them and everything. And that type and there's like a strong like singular color that, it's like tinted over everything. And I've been like pretty inspired to try and figure out how to capture a bit of that style, a bit of that, I guess, like aesthetic in terms of like when I'm going out taking pictures, and then like my editing style, trying to break out of like, I guess, my box that I've set for myself in the past in terms of editing.
That's awesome. No, I love to hear that because trying something new
Mhm.
offers the opportunity to grow, offers you the chance to figure out where you want to be, what's the message you want to portray.
Definitely.
Very cool.
Mhm.
Where can people find your stuff?
So I primarily post most of my stuff on Instagram. So at Dakota_Maxwell_photography. That's my main platform where I post all my pictures. I know like the whole meta thing, I also have like a threads linked to that, and then a Facebook profile. But
It's where we were just talking about before you sat down. Everything is kind of interconnected,
Yeah,
the whole
but-
meta platform. And yeah.
but Instagram is like the main, like everything's kind of forked off of that, and that's where I'm most active. That's like where I am, and then the threads and Facebook thing, it just kind of gets like auto shared to them. So
Yeah.
I'm
Awesome.
there every so often, but Instagram is like my home essentially.
Awesome.
Great.
Well, Dakota, thank you so much for swinging over. Hope you enjoyed the rest of the night, and hopefully you'll see you out at more Behind the Glass events coming up.
Of course, definitely. Thank you for having me on.
Awesome.
Thanks for coming out. Appreciate you.
All right, thanks.
Take care.
Sweet.
Thank you. Right on. Thanks, Dakota. That was awesome.
Yeah. And if you see somebody in there, you can send them out. We're just trying to like keep on cycling through as much as we can.
It's kind of like that wedding DJ thing where somebody tags you with the microphone. You're like, hey, you got to get in there because, yeah, you want somebody else to feel the thing. So,
It's just an inexperience. I've done it before. Like I used to run like from the MCC. I'm not.
Oh man. Yeah, been an interesting night out here so far. So kind of waiting for the next guest to come out very soon. and see what's going on. Been a fun experiment doing live streaming tonight. Not quite used to it yet, so we're gonna be messing around more of that in the studio over at the house. But it's been a fun experiment tonight doing it here on site. There's always more work to do, right? We're always trying to figure out what's next. How are we going to grow? Where are we going? And it's great to have people running through. So yeah, we'll be, looks like we'll be recording for another 20 minutes or so, hoping to get another interview or two in while we're bouncing. But no, it's been great. This is a fun excuse to learn how to do things better, as usual. Oh. Oh man. I was gonna say. Yeah, I got a couple comments tonight. Yeah, we're gonna figure out how to do this better and better over time. So hoping to make this a regular part of what Lunchador is doing, especially on my show, Food About Town. Do some of my mini episodes this way. Take some comments and see how it goes. Oh. Hello. Yeah. Yes, that's the podcast network. So.
Oh, that's what that is. Richard was wearing last week.
Yeah. So these are custom pins.
So we have to talk to get them.
Of course.
Okay. Jonah was saying, what are you supposed to talk about?
Yeah, go for it, bud. Hey, nice to see you. Yeah, grab a thing. Oh yeah. You're always so eager to talk.
Someday, and it's not like soon, but someday, I would like to do a podcast with my brother and I. Of just, I don't even know what the subject matter is.
Just you two. I'm not going to say
I
anything.
don't even know yet.
I'm not going to say anything. It's going to be.
He's the only one that can get like, stuff out of it.
It's going to be the Delaria boys, and like I'm just going to produce it. I'm just going to not say anything the whole time, and it's going to be like blank air for 30 minutes. No, it's so much fun to, we've been expanding so much, even from the last time you were over. Like we've got like video going on in the studio and everything else, but we're hoping to do more stuff out in public too. And this is a great excuse to do it. So much fun. Yep. We'll make it happen.
My friend's writing, he wrote a book, and I've been told I have a good voice for audio.
Oh yeah, no, we can definitely make it happen for you. So we have to figure out we don't know how all that works yet, but the answer is always yes.
Obviously, it would take a while to read it.
Oh yeah. But that's if they have, that's something we'd have to figure out. We have to work together on what that means. But short answer is yes. Like I would enjoy to do that, but we haven't set what that means yet as a network. But the hope is we're going to be able to do more audiobooks. We're doing all the in this moment ones right now, but those are like, 15 minutes, but they're read by the authors. And I'm excited to do it, but we have to figure out how to do that better and better. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, seriously, pass them along, and whether they want to read it or they wanted someone like me to read it, we can figure that out.
I would listen to an audiobook if you narrate.
I do want to do more voice work. So I've been dabbling, but we're gonna figure it out. Oh, ready to go? Oh, they're talking audiobook stuff. Oh yeah. Yeah, he's like, yeah, of course we can do that. Yeah. No, we'll deal with the levels. You just grab the mic. You can say whatever you want.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. You're good.
Yeah.
It's not really stereo.
It's going to be mono anyway, so.
Okay.
Are we live?
We will be momentarily and starting in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, Mom.
All right.
There
We
you
are
go.
here for Behind the Glass second anniversary. Guests, why don't you introduce yourselves?
Hi, this is Carmen Lewis. I was in the December cohort.
Hi, this is Joe Delaria, and I was also in the December cohort.
Yeah, I mean, you both pronounced that correctly, so you're one step past Richard Cologne.
Winning.
Why
My-
this is his party. Why you got to be like that?
It's so much more fun that way. I didn't get a chance to come out for the December one. I was out of town, but did you end up bringing something different for the anniversary show, using something from that?
Yeah, I actually brought a different photo altogether. I brought a black and white image from London. It was when I was walking the high street, which is the title of my piece. And yeah, it's just a black and white photo of a double-decker bus, the stars that run along the high street, and kind of felt like the London vibe.
Nice.
I just had one of my pastels that I brought for the December cohort.
Nice.
Pronounce it right again. And decided to call it Beachy McBeachface.
It's a great title.
Pastel of a beach. And I actually ended up, one of Carmen's friends here actually ended up buying one of my pastels.
First purchase.
Yeah, first purchase.
Oh,
I'm
that's
Hey,
awesome.
congrats.
Yeah.
officially an artist now.
Behind the
Yeah,
glass does work, y'all.
Thank you.
Well, I think that's a great thing, though. Like have your personal work up and have somebody want to buy it it's one of those things. We've seen it a few times where people were on the wall for the first time. People sold something for the first time. What a great feeling that is.
It did feel really good for someone to actually see my art and say, hey, that's cool enough for me to buy. And
Yeah.
especially for me, since I just kind of did it for myself. And other people were like, hey, I like it.
She's psyched.
That's great. No, it's I think those are the things that always grab me with the experience of being involved with this is you can see the evolution in people's work and the way they feel about what they're doing through the process of being shown, through the process of everything else.
Exactly. Yeah. If you want to supplement your income and you think you're not a great artist like me, but every artist kind of feels like that, I guess. But
I think so.
get to Behind the Glass and put yourself out there. Like
Shout out Kwaje and Richard for the 1000th time. Like, y'all do the work. Thank you for that. And thanks to y'all for doing the podcast.
Oh, absolutely. No,
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you both showing up. Put out the plugs where people can find it if they want to see the work or buy even more stuff.
Yeah, I actually just changed my Instagram handle to Wanderlust and Micro Moments on Instagram. So come find me and check out my photography.
Awesome.
I don't really use Instagram, but I'm in a band called the Honey Smugglers, so go check them out because we just released a vinyl and it's good to listen to.
That's awesome.
Congratulations on that too.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll be able to on our music show in Rochester, the nights and weekends coming up very soon.
Yeah.
So thanks for swinging over, and we'll be back soon with
Thank you.
another guest.
Thanks, y'all.
Okay, hi, Mama.
Hi, Mom. Cool. Thank
Awesome.
you. That was really fun.
Pretty painless, right?
Hey, congratulations, man. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's awesome.
Really happy for you. That's super cool. Oh man. Oh, doing well. Let's see. Yeah, we had somebody listening from Mexico, which is really interesting and cool. Yeah, no, I think this is a good experiment. I mean, we learned what not to do, and I'm wondering just how, with the other systems, how well we're going to be able to dial that in. I'm excited to work on the layout stuff, the OBS stuff. Oh yeah. Experimental video. Experimental. Oh man. Oh, this is good. I'm going to go on mute for anybody who's on live. We'll be back in a minute.